Welcome back. Let us finally check how we can get the version of software running on open ports. Until now, you managed to discover open ports, and we also learned that different scans can do and which ones are better to use. Let us see one of the most essential parts that will help us in identifying vulnerabilities, which is scanning of the version. Also, the service is running on open ports. And why do we need to know the version of software? Because in knowing the exact version of that software, we can look up on the internet for its known vulnerabilities, and knowing that specific version, we can know its vulnerabilities and try to explore the target mission. And now let us see how we can perform it. To perform the discovery, we use the -sv. So go ahead and open up terminal, and if I run the command sudo nmap -sv, which is the version and the IP address of my metasploitable. And let me go ahead to my metasploitable and look up for its IP address, and its IP address is here. So its IP address is 192.168.88.247. This particular scan can take some minutes because we are performing a much deeper scan. I'm just go ahead, press enter, and I'm gonna type in my password. As I said, it will take some minutes because we are performing a much deeper scan. So if I press my upper key to know what percent it is, now it's at 86.96%, and it's done. So this is our result, and as you can see, it's much better than the previous one, and it gave us a more detailed scan with the version scan. And in the previous, we only got the three columns here: the port, the state, and the service. But now with the version, we got the version of the software. And as you can see, FTP, which is the service, is running on the version VSFTP, which is 2.3.4. And SSH is running in OpenSSH 4.7 Debian Ubuntu. And Telnet is running on Linux Telnet D. And HTTP is running on Apache HTTP 2.2.8, and so on and so on. So this is the version of that service that's running. And what we can do with this version is we can search it for known vulnerabilities of that specific version and test it on the target system for exploitation. Since this scan is very important, it will be advised to document it and put it on a report for future references. And another thing that I will show you is the version intensity, and this is how high you can perform the intensity of the version scan. So if I run the command sudo with the same command, just add here -- version intensity. This option will perform the scan in which it is higher or not. By default it is 7, and the highest level of scan, sorry, I press enter, so it's telling that it must be between 0 and 9. So let me go ahead and try to scan it again. What this option does is it give you the intensity of the scan. 7 is by default and 9 is the highest level, and if we set to 9, we will have the higher possibility of getting the correct version of the software or the service that's running on the open port. However, in 99% of Nmap scan, this option is not needed. You can leave it to 7, which is by default. So let me go ahead and put 9 here, and if I press enter, this will take much more time since we are performing a version intensity with 9, which is the highest deeper scan. And it's done right now. Honestly, it will just give you out the same output of the previous scan that we did, but sometimes it can give you a much different approach of scan with the intensity level, but it's recommended to use 7, which is by default. Before I end this video, I want to show you one last important option, that is the -A, and this is so-called the aggressive option. So the command will be sudo nmap -A, it has to be capital letter A, and the IP address, which is 192.168.88.247, the IP address of my metasploitable. So this dash A is the aggressive level, and it just enables some of the advanced features of Nmap. It can perform the operating system scan, the version scan, and it can also perform, which we call the Nmap script scan. Just remember that the dash A enables the dash SV and the operating system, which dash O, but the script part we will just see it in the next videos. And this dash A performs all the scans that we have previously scanned before. And if I just press enter here, it will perform the scan, which are the most deepest level of scans. And this will take some time because we are performing the old scans that we did, which, as I mentioned, which is the operating system, the versions, and so on and so on. I'm gonna press the upper arrow key, and it's done right now. For now, we can see that this is the result that we get. And as a disclaimer, please do not perform this on a target you don't have permission to scan with, because it's the most deepest level of scan. However, we can test this in our metasploitable because we have permission to. Guys, this is enough for this video, and in next video I will explain this scan that we did. So see you then.